Yeah. My parents immigrated from Michoacan, Mexico. Yeah, I guess from high school to my current state, I started at one high school, then I transferred to a different high school, and then I went to community college for 3 years. Then from there, I transferred to San Diego State University. I was there for 3 years.
Hi, my name is Erida Docini Correa. I'm from the Bay Area, California. My background is Nicaraguan and Argentinian. My mom's Nicaraguan, my dad's Argentinian. I come from like the suburbs outside of San Francisco. My mom is a muni bus a bus driver in San Francisco.
Well, my high school experience was good and bad at the same time. When I was in 9th grade, my first semester was pretty good. I think I had like 3 point something. The second semester, it dropped really fast because I just started hanging out, I guess, the wrong crowd. I started ditching. I started doing other things just because I guess I wanted to fit in, you know. And then from there, actually, when I was going to go to 11th grade, actually was in this thing called 10R, which repeated 10th grade. So I was actually taking junior classes, but I didn't have enough units to be considered junior. And then we moved, so I had to transfer to a different school. I guess when I transferred to the second high school, I think it was good because we moved to a new neighborhood, and then I didn't know anyone really. So it got to me like, okay, I can't ditch by myself. I mean, I can, but I didn't want to do it.
I went to a private high school in San Francisco, California. It's called International High School. So we did the International Baccalaureate, which is, I don't know who to look. It's fine. We did the International Baccalaureate, which is done across the world. So the background of my school was, and there was also the French program, so there was like a lot of French expatriates that went to my school. And then there was a lot of kids with like European backgrounds that went to my school, and like their parents were, they were very affluent kids, but there was a good like amount of kids that were on financial aid.
The academic, I think overall in both schools it was more girls and boys overall. There's a couple of boys that were academic driven, but I feel that we would talk, but not like in the same way I talk to my other friends. I guess just now thinking back about it, I think it's just the pressure that a lot of boys have there, just because it's a large amount of gangs. And then to me, I guess there was punks, gangs, and then like it's the smart kids and the little kids that like it used to get punked. And then to me it was like, okay, you gotta choose one. Like, do I want to be the one getting punked, or do I want to be the one not getting punked, you know? So I'm like, okay, I don't want to get punked. So I went to that side. I had peers, I'm not going to lie, I did have peers that were really motivated. And then I wouldn't always hang out with the wrong crowd. When I transferred, when I was in my first high school, I would. But when I transferred, I guess I became more cautious about it. And I was like, oh, I don't want to end up like all of them. So even though I will hang out with them during lunch, I wouldn't do the things I used to do.
I would say that my group of friends, a lot of us, we were on financial aid, and we were really motivated in the way that like we knew this was an opportunity for us, so we were motivated in that type of way. But that doesn't necessarily mean we were like the highest performing academically. We were just like motivated to get to college basically. And then there was like certain groups of kids that were that their parents were like educated professors or scientists or whatever. I think they did because I never wanted to fall behind, and I always wanted to do as well as like the top performing kids who usually had a little bit more opportunities than I had, as in like even just because my school, they had a middle school, so and like an elementary school, so some of the kids had gone there their entire life, and the work that they were doing in middle school and like elementary school did not compare to, like what I was doing did not compare at all to what they were doing. So they had like a head start, like to be able to like deal with schoolwork and stuff like that. So it did, as in it pushed me. And then also like with my group of friends, we kind of, this is a really hard program that we were doing, so we like encourage each other. Personally, it was like formal schooling, as in knowing how to write a paper, knowing how to like certain academic level of math, like certain stuff like that. As in, like, I didn't necessarily think the kids were smarter than me in a way, but I just thought they knew how to do stuff better than I did at like when I came into freshman year of high school. And I think that was like with a lot of my friends, like we felt like we didn't feel beneath because we were like, we're still here, we're at the same level. It was just like they knew what to do and we were kind of lost at first.
Anyways, when I transferred, it was the high school my brother and my sister went to. So it was my brother's high school counselor too. So my brother went, he's like, oh, Mr. Green, look after my brother. If he does anything wrong, let me know, blah, 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 blah. And my older brother's 8 years older than I am. So to me, it was like, oh man, like he's getting on my back now. So I remember just because of that, I feel like I had Mr. Green, like he was so, I could go, anytime I had a question, I could go with him. Anything. He helped me with my financial aid package, I didn't understand it, so he got on the phone, he actually called. This was before the online fast phone. So he actually helped me a lot with that. He told me, like, I didn't know about, like, SATs. I'm not gonna lie, like, it's embarrassing, but I didn't know about SATs. Until, like, yeah, like, you can take it. Like, no, I didn't even know what those were, you know? Like, oh, well, don't worry about it. You can go to community college so you can transfer. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah, I don't need the SATs for that? He goes, no. So I feel just that, having him, he really, really helped me a lot.
So my social capital was that my parents really loved to travel. And so I didn't have a lot, like, material-wise when I was growing up because we would, like, save, like, all our money and we would travel. And I know that, like, my parents couldn't help me with the college application process. They didn't know, like, what to do. I was doing everything. But I kind of have, like of a different perspective than I think a lot of, like, my peers had. Like about like globally and stuff like that, and that definitely helped me with my college applications, and it just helped me like figure out what I want to do, and so like it helped me like become a much more defined person at a young age than like a lot of my peers, which helped me dealing with stuff by myself, like in an easier way.
My race and my ethnic background, but I really can't say I guess my ethnic because the second high school I went was like probably like 90+% Mexican, so I don't know if that really played a role. I at least didn't see it, but I know I could go back to one example in my senior year when I was in English class. I remember the first semester our original teacher didn't go because she was pregnant. She was about to have a baby, so we had to substitute the whole semester. So I remember we didn't even have a constant curriculum. And I remember one assignment she had is like, okay, well, how do you see yourself in 5 years and whatnot? I wrote it, and then she had us look at catalogs from UC's, Cal States, and community college. But the thing is that now that I realize it, there's only a couple of people that she gave UC's and USC catalogs. A few more people Cal States, and everybody else community college. One of my friends, she was AP except for English, but I was really good friends with her. She had the USC, and I finished my assignment already. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what USC classes are like, you know? I want to see what the difference are. So I went to go ask her, like, can I see it? She goes, yeah. And I go, I'm going to take it to my seat. So I was looking at it, and I remember she came. She's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you're not supposed to be looking at that one. I go, I know, but I finished my work. I just want to look at the class. And she goes, no. And she took it away from me. I'm like, this is the one you need. I'm like, man. But at the time, like, I was like, okay, why is she doing that? Like, I didn't see what it meant, you know, until now that I think about it, like, man, I can't make that happen, you know. So I think that's the only experience that I can think of.
Race was associated with like socioeconomic status, and therefore like my teachers, it was different. It was either like, I remember one time a teacher said, all you guys have to do is like school you guys shouldn't be complaining so much. All you have to go do is like go home and do homework. Like you don't have to like worry about anything else. And I like was personally offended by that, and I like, yeah, we had like a big discussion in my class because it was just like, no, some people have to go do other things when they go home. anyways, like it's not just like as easy as just going home and dealing with like schoolwork. But that like saying that is that at my school it was different. Like some teachers didn't like acknowledge like any difference between like socioeconomic status, race, or anything, and it was just like that the kids were teaching them all the same thing. And then I did feel supported by some teachers, as in they would, if we were talking about a certain like they would be more inclined to hear like different points of view and different like aspects of your background, and they would like encourage you to talk about that. They wouldn't necessarily single you out, but they would encourage you. So it was a little bit of both. It was like sometimes it was like not perceived at all, but then sometimes it was pointed at in an encouraging way. But I know that I had friends that didn't feel that they felt that they were singled out.